Okay, right, before I get started, can you guys at the back hear me okay now? A little bit louder? Nice, okay, cool. Awesome. So, revenue limits for outbound. There's no set in stone number for this, right? As long as outbound is profitable and your sales conversion rate is good, you keep running it, right? There'll come a point around like 100, 150K per month where it will make more sense to run paid ads, just simply due to the fact that you can remove all the complexity of managing setters and managing outbound systems and just put it all into one funnel, and then your sales reps are closing the exact same funnel every single time. But it's like Charlie said earlier, like your outbound systems should just serve the purpose of just like pre-research for running ads, making sure you can convert at a high level, making sure you can manage sales reps, making sure you're profitable as a business. As a rule of thumb, we scale to 200K a month with cold outbound purely. But the minute you've got, what, 5, 10 grand a month to put into paid ads, 10 grand a day to put into paid ads, I would just make the jump.
10 grand a day? Yeah.
5 grand a day.
5 grand a day?
I'm not ads like, is that too high? What do we spend on ads per day?
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, the setting thing is get proof of concept and then you can do ads. Like, you know, Bo talked about this last time where like ads make sense if you're 7 figures, like 75% margins.
Yeah.
Then you can start ads. Otherwise you get in trouble with Bo.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought we were spending a lot more than that. Any more questions on the how far outbound can stretch? Like the limits of it? No.
200K, roughly.
There's no hard limit, man.
Yeah.
You can get to $1 million a month with outbound if you wanted to.
But it just doesn't make sense past that sort of.
Basically, man, the whole thing is as soon as you get to 7 figures and you're operating efficiently at a 70% plus margin, then you move to ads. Because at that point, if you're at that point with that margin, it means your product works, your show rate system is in place, and your sales system works, and your lead nurturing system works. Then all it is just eyeballs.
Sorry, mate. God, I'm guilty. Then all it is just more eyeballs, which is just ads. And then when you've got ads, then it's just pressing a button and then just adding sales reps, and then you're at 8 figures.
On that note, I remember last time we spoke about that, and then you said potentially start putting budget into ads, and then Bo said no, like maximize efficiency with the whole setting thing.
Yeah.
In that scenario, do you feel like that's like a new thing that you say now that's the criteria? Just if you're
No, Bo and I discussed this after the last event. I think the philosophy of getting to 7 figures, high margins before ads makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, like what happens is you'll just crash and burn, and that happens to a lot of people. And then you get reliant on ads. And yeah, I would do the outbound thing first for sure.
But like I'm at that point, so then can I start ads? Like we're well above.
So you have to ask my permission, but
No.
I'm fucking
saying
with
like you would recommend it because last time you recommended it, but Bo said no.
Well, no, that was because your
300K.
margins were in a terrible place last time we spoke, weren't they?
No, they were always.
So
like,
what's your margin at the moment?
It's like net operating profit is like 90% plus.
And how much you're making, like 100K a month?
Yeah, like yeah.
Yeah, then you should start ads.
Okay, so you're good. Okay.
Keep doing outbound though, because I've seen your metrics. Like you can squeeze so much more out of outbound.
Yeah.
Right. You can keep targeting your market and then go back to the beginning with new scripts and start again. Like don't just cut off outbound. Just add some ad spend alongside it to help you grow a little bit further.
Okay.
Well, what if you've never done any cold outbound and your main acquisition system is inbound IG or just inbound in general? What's the rule of thumb for when you should start ads for that?
I'd follow the same framework.
Cool.
Honestly, man. Like inbound and outbound, like the only lever that you can pull for inbound is posting more content, right? So if your inbound is booking your appointments, are you setting on the back of your inbound right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just post more content. And then it will be a little bit sooner, so you can transition to ads a little bit sooner because you've got that brand out there. But mate, like you're in a position where you can start testing outbound as well. Like don't just make the jump, try and build an outbound system first.
I think one thing to note is that if you're in a B2C space, you can start ads a lot earlier because the cost per call is lower, generally a little easier to close as well. Would you agree with that? Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Thibaut?
When is before? Like when's the when do you mean when you
If you're in B2C, when should you start ads?
yeah.
like 30, 40K a month.
Okay.
With good margins again. Yeah.
Quick last question on that. I remember last time you said the price point should be above 5K if you're going to start ads. We're at 4,800. You still think we can start ads and be able to?
Well, what's your sales conversion rate?
So it's I'm at 20. He's at 15.
And this is all from cold.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously the more you increase your price, the more profitable it's going to be. But yeah, you're there basically.
Okay. Cool.
Everyone good? Happy? Cool. Choosing the system is a relatively straightforward one. You just go to the place where your market spends the most time. It really is as simple as that. So like if you're in a niche that checks LinkedIn 10 times a day but cold email once, you'd go to LinkedIn, right?
And how do you identify the target?
Well, what's your niche?
Like, I'm in the profit stage.
So where?
Well, who's your niche?
Property. So like where do they get their clients for a start? Where do they operate? Where do they?
I know what platforms they're on, but how do you like train a set and go, hey, like specifically outbound these people?
So you're talking lead sourcing.
Yeah, if you're outbound, so we get leads.
In terms of like how to find them.
Yeah.
Well, I think. Well, okay. So when you say you're in the property space, like in like property investors or estate agents or
Yeah,
like,
people that want to be a property investor. Yeah.
who want to be a property investor.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you can either use LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn Sales Nav would probably do that. So LinkedIn Sales Navigator or Facebook groups.
Facebook, Instagram. The benefit of that is people are already going to be targeting your specific avatar on these platforms. You just go to whoever's targeting your market currently, posting content towards them, and then you just scrape from their profiles. Yeah?
All things being equal, how would you rank like the outbound systems that you've got, like in terms of like easiest, quickest results?
The quickest results is always going to be cold calls.
Cold calls.
Yeah, because you just get a phone number, you call them up, you speak to someone, right? That's always going to be quick. Provided your market, you can find their phone numbers because everyone's got a phone. It's just a case of finding their phone numbers.
Yeah.
That's always going to be the quickest, just picking up the phone and speaking to them.
Quite a lot of time though involved with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Cold calls will work really well for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, we crush.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like,
2 weeks.
Yeah.
if you can crack cold calls on your own and actually book appointments yourself doing the calls and find the phone numbers, then building a setting team is going to be so easy because it's just doing more of what you found to work.
That'd have to be so easy. You just go to like find every electrician in the local area and just.
Yeah. It's like local electricians, they're on Facebook.
Mobile was so easy.
Yeah, they're all over the place, like
Yeah, yeah,
Facebook,
so
Instagram,
I would-
check a trade.
I would be doing cold SMS and cold calling because that's where they get their clients from over the phone. And like with you, because they're not targeting huge businesses, when you find the business phone number, it's going to be a mobile number 99% of the time. That's where they call up their clients. That's where their clients text them about stuff. So you need to be on the exact same channel that they're using every single day, right?
Yeah.
Chris, if I were you, I'd find something that works for cold calling and then hire like 15 cold callers.
Yeah.
And then
'Cause that-
call- bang.
Right now, you're doing Facebook outreach. yeah?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
But this is the thing, I need to talk to you guys more specifically about different offers.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
electricians aren't going, they're going to check LinkedIn maybe once every few days.
We're not targeting electricians, we're targeting like engineering firms on LinkedIn,
Okay.
and it's a slightly different offer. But yeah, what you're saying about phone numbers, SMS, like I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
we should consider.
The outreach needs to feel natural and it needs to slot into your market's
Yeah.
daily routine.
Yeah. Cheers.
Well, just going back to the limits, when we were talking, we were saying that the point of diminishing returns is like 8 setters. So let's say we get to that point, 8 setters, they're operating, and we want to go beyond that. Is that when you would go to ads?
It's not that 8 setters is the point of diminishing returns. It's that's the point of diminishing management.
Yeah.
So you'd basically you could have 24 setters if you had 3 setter managers. But to be fair, you could probably I mean, what do you reckon? The setter manager could handle what, like 10 setters, I reckon, before it started to
10.
break?
I started noticing the cracks at 10 setters.
10.
Because that's when the conversion rate started dropping, just simply due to the fact that I could not control every single appointment that was being booked.
Okay. And what would be the expectation on like daily bookings with that?
Daily bookings with 10 setters, easy 20 per day, like 2 each. Yeah.
Okay. Combining Facebook, 2 Facebooks, 2
Yeah.
LinkedIn's, yeah?
Yeah.
4 accounts?
Yeah.
Okay. What ABR would you look at?
Well, our KPI for ABR was 5%.
5%.
Yeah. Yeah. But it comes down to this thing, the system, right?
Yeah.
Because our system, like, before I started hiring setters, I tested 20 different Trojan horse entry messages until I found something that really resonated with the market, right? And then follow-ups, we were changing them every other day. The only thing that stayed consistent was our VSL that Charlie recorded. We just kept that the exact same.
Okay, so you'd scale it up to 10 setters
Yeah.
and then reevaluate.
Yeah, that's where we saw the limit. And after that, the conversion rate started to drop just because I could not control the quality on all of those. We should have just hired another setter manager, but
That's what we're probably going to do.
yeah. Yeah.
So do you let your setters book? Do your setters have a qualification over message they need to do first before they book them in, or do you just let them book everyone in and then your triager is the one who qualifies them?
So that's what we do now. Right now we're triaging in the DMs, but it's purely because we're doing it for R&D purposes. Like, we're not really trying to push setters. We're just testing that system to see if it's viable. When we used to run the setting team, it was just book everyone in. And now we'd have Jan, our triage on the back end for the calls.
Did you not get like a bunch of, don't mean to sound bad in any way, but
Yes,
like
we did.
+91,
Yeah.
we've gone +91 countries.
Yeah. Yeah, but you like, you kind of have to look at the profile before you like reach out to them, just double check. Like, they do come through. You just cancel it on the back end.
Fine. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions on choosing the system at all? No? Nice.
Well, sorry. Like, I'm really, it's like shiny object syndrome, I think, on the Terminator looms. Obviously, considering the things you just mentioned about like where your audience is at, but something like that system to keep that running to like to keep it running efficiently, like, is that probably one of the more complex systems that takes a lot of energy and time to get up and running and iterate and maintain, would you say, compared to some of the others?
The setup process is quite intensive, but once it's running, it's very
right.
But it's the same kind of thing. Like, you just go to the place that they check the most because you don't want to add any kind of resistance between them seeing your message, you getting their attention, and them being interested as a result of seeing your offer. Okay, so like for you, man, cold calling, cold SMS, right? Because these firms, they can be checking their phones every single day to get new people in. That's where you want to target them. 100%. So that's choosing the system. Easiest and quickest results, again, just cold calling, honestly. Like, that's going to be the quickest results. Not everyone is going to be capable of cold calling, but if you just do want easiest results, cold calling is going to be the best thing. And then build out a setting team around cold calls. So the incentive and bonus, who asked this question?
Yeah, I think.
What exactly did you want to know about? Just like how we pay setters?
Yeah, so I asked as well. So I want to understand, like, what are you seeing kind of works well? Because industry standard is like 5% on cash collected.
Yeah.
And I know you guys at one point were doing like per appointment, trying to incentivize them that way as well.
Yeah, so it's, for the two different types of setups, it's purely outbound. You have to pay them per booked appointment if it's completely cold traffic, because setters need to focus on one thing, which is booking appointments, and they need to be incentivized for completing that action so they do it again. Okay, because setters they're not thinkers, they're not creators, they're just doers. There needs to be a clear feedback loop by booking the appointment and getting paid. So we pay our setters for the booking $25, for the show $75, and for the close we pay 4% of cash collected.
So on that, right, what is the setter doing to make sure the person shows up? Like, what's the kind of framework for them to make sure they show up?
It's just the quality of the set. So the conversation they had, the questions they asked them, how they handle objections, that's exactly what they're doing.
So there isn't they don't have like a follow up off the back of like close to the actual call. So hey, you've got a call with John today. Have you got the Zoom link?
No.
Are they doing something like that to make sure they show up? So they just set and then hope based on the questions they've asked.
So we don't do that because we have a system on the back end that manages that, right? But if you don't have for example, we have Jan, like a call confirmer who does all of that. If you don't have that, then the setters should be doing that. Yeah.
The reason I'm asking that is like, if they're getting rewarded for the show rate, what's their contribution for the show rate?
That's the quality of the set. That's
So you think the quality of the set is what contributes to a high show rate?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Massively, mate. Big time.
That's the only thing. Because if it's a shit quality set, they're not going to show up.
Just think about it, man. Like, imagine if I was on a set call with you and I was, we had a 2-minute conversation. I just quickly ran through them questions, like, oh yeah, booking a call versus having a proper conversation with you, setting the
Okay, so I understand what you mean now. Okay, so
you
how
know
you
it's
go
gonna be a
about
Zoom
setting
call.
the actual call and how conversational and how you feel like the value you're going to get from this call, you're going to show up to that call,
Yeah.
basically.
Plus, it's better for you, right? Because you want the person to show up. You only want to be paying for shows.
Yeah, obviously. But I'm trying to understand, how am I incentivizing? So I'm incentivizing by paying 75, but like, what are they actually doing to make sure that person shows up?
It's just the quality.
Because they're going to get rewarded regardless, right? If I've got like a back
It's the
house
quality
system that brings them in.
It's all the quality.
and that's where it's more heavily weighted.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it ends up? Sorry, mate.
It's also like if you police it and like, yes, the incentive is there, but if the setter continuously sets appointments that don't show, it's available for everyone to see on the leaderboard. Selway will come down in like a ton of bricks. Brunker will come down. Like everyone's watching and there's nowhere for them to hide with shit sets, basically.
Yeah. You want shows and you want closes, so you
Yeah, no, I'm like, is that, I guess, through a conversation, you can, I guess, make them show up. I feel like I'm just giving them money for something that should happen anyways. It's kind of what I'm thinking.
You can't just tell them that it should happen. You need to coach them on what it looks like, because even the way you sign off a set call, that could be the difference between a 50% show rate and an 80% show rate to that call. Because you have a setter who just be like, oh yeah, cool, there's your booking, blah blah blah, versus it's going to be a Zoom call. Make sure you're in a quiet place. So can you actually make this time? Double down on that time before the end of the call. Things like that.
I think it would be good to see a good set versus a bad set, because then it helps me understand how one person shows up and the other doesn't. Because for example, like, I don't know if you guys are like, so for example, if someone doesn't show up, do you guys go back to look at the call to see what actually happened in that call and why that person potentially didn't show up?
Yeah, well, this is where once we hire because Selway does the setter management at the moment, but he's also doing product R&D, so he's kind of split. So once we have like a full-time setter manager, that's when someone would be on.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've kind of got someone on it to a degree. But if you want, man, we can probably find some example set calls and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be good to kind of like, just for, because I'm thinking if I was to train my setter to say, hey, this is how I'm expecting.
Yeah, we can send you some recordings if you want. But also, this will be an easy scale when we launch it, and all of you guys will have access to that anyway. But we'll put dozens of examples in and stuff. But Nor, could you make a note and just maybe pop some Google Drive links in the WhatsApp, please?
I'm sure I have an idea of what it would be like, but it would be good to just have an example.
Yeah, we'll send some over.
Yeah.
Fine.
All right. Cheers.
Sorry, just some clarity on the incentive. So is it they get $25 per book, and then 75 on top of that?
Yeah.
And then 4% on top of that?
So every one of those is a standalone commission for the action. 25 when it's booked, then they get 75 when it shows, that's 100 total, and then they get 4% of cash collected on top of that. It's for both.
One thing, the meetings need to meet our parameters. So setters can't just book in plus 91s, making nothing, or 16-year-olds and get the 25. Like it will be vetted, right?
I was going to say, so if someone books in and you look at the Calendly form, whatever, and they're completely unqualified,
right?
they don't qualify for the $25.
We will vet these 25. We will vet every
Yeah.
single appointment and make sure that it actually fits the parameters.
And the cash collected, do you pay again the next month if it's split across 5? Let's say it's just
the first month.
We are contemplating doing like a flat fee where we just pay per sale. So like
you mentioned that.
Yeah, so no per appointment, no per show, and just pay them like $750 per sale or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good idea. Oh, you've already talked about it. Oh, I'll shut up.
And then when you're doing that, what if let's say you get to month 3 and then payments fail?
Well, it's kind of it's no different to our cost per acquisition for ads, for example, or like a referral or anything. So if we spent $2,000 to acquire a customer, the only thing that matters in the long term is the average lifetime value.
This is why I need LTV.
Yeah, so we know our average LTV is like between 8 and 9K. So we can effectively, we could afford to pay the sellers $2K per sale, knowing that it's gonna, we wouldn't do that because they wouldn't need that much incentive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what I'm doing at the moment with the setter and the closer is, I just split it over the lifetime of our product, which is 6 months, and they'll get set percentage per month.
The closers should receive the commission as it rolls in, as the cash collects. But the setters, the setter, you kind of, pardon the pun, you want to reset them every month. Like setters can become very complacent if they know that they've got this rolling
MRR kind of.
Yeah, for sales reps it's different because like they've put a lot of effort in to get over the line, and if you try and take that away, you're never going to get good sales talent. But the setters should just get paid up front, and then every month it resets basically.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
If you're paying a setter like 150, 200 for a booking, I know you do it for R&D, but for us, would it not make more sense to just like do ads if we had a sub 100 cost per booking?
But we don't pay them $200 a booking.
I'm just factoring in like if the deal closes.
Well, if it closes, then it's fine, but we pay effectively $100 for every showed call.
Yeah.
And it's because our cost.
If I got those metrics on ads, mate, we'd be fucking billionaires by now.
It's so much cheaper than us running ads, so that was what makes sense for us. If
I'm
you're
just
not
thinking-
running ads, it would be a little bit lower, obviously.
Yeah. Because when I was running, obviously it was a lot smaller compared to your guys, but I had a sub 100 cost per booking.
Well, it's the same. It's the same thing I said to Otavio. Like ads make sense if you've got an efficient machine.
Okay.
So 100K a month, 70% margins, 80% margins, proof of concept everywhere. Then you can run ads. It's not about whether it costs more or not, if it's more efficient. It's about like all ads will do. Ads will work for all of you guys, and they'll work for everyone because they're pretty straightforward to get right. But if you haven't got a sound business, then they won't work. Like whether ads work or not, it's not about the ads, it's about the business that they sit on top of.
Yeah. If we're not at 100 yet per month, but just based on the current math, it would be in that direction, like margins and everything. Would you still wait?
Well, what's your current sales conversion rate?
Mine's 18 right now.
Say again?
18.
But that yours or a reps?
Mine.
Yeah, so this is kind of the thing, man. Like, yeah. What's your average order value? Upfront cash?
Upfront cash, I'd have to double check. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so dude, you're not ready for ads. if you can't list these things off, like if that's not like top of mind constantly, but like what's your show rate?
That's 73.
Yeah.
That's the last one I checked.
Well, like, you know, Tavio, for example, has now got a closer on doing 15% as well.
Yeah.
Like, where are you at in terms of monthly revenue?
60.
60?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be like 80, 90, 100 with a closer on, with a closer proof of concept, so you actually know you can manage someone to run this, and then you run ads.
Okay, so the requirements is having
The requirements are straightforward. You need a sales proof of concept. Ideally, your conversion rate should be north of 30%, but 20 you can make do with. You need to have a show rate of at least like 70% on the cold traffic, 60% at a push, but 70%. You need to have an average order value upfront cash collection of at least, what do you reckon, like $3,000 to liquidate that spend?
Yeah, well, we did it without that for a while, but your LTV needs to be solid at the very minimum.
Yeah, your LTV needs to be like, you need to be collecting like 75% of your total price. And then you need, then you need to have like a closer converting at least 15 to 20% as well. So that basically what that then means is you know how to sell really well. You know how to get people to show up really well. Then also your product works and your offer works really well. But more importantly, you know how to manage a salesperson, and there's somebody else that can manage the traffic. Then all it is past that point. Going from 0 to 100K a month, that's the hard part. Yeah. Going from 100 to 500 is basically just increasing spend and hiring sales reps. Now that is hard, and there's lots of nuances, and it becomes more about your decisions and your work ethic. But the foundations are the hard bit, because we went from 0 to 100K a month in, what do you reckon, like a year? But then we went from 100K a month to $1 million a month, or 800K a month in like 18 months. So but that's because we had such ridiculously solid foundations.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. So that's the incentive. For the bonus, literally just get a leaderboard like this, because you want all your setters like competing against each other. And top setter should get a cash bonus of at least like $500 is what we do.
That one was a big dick.
Yeah,
Really
big
call
dick
them big
setter.
dick setters?
Yeah, yeah. You gotta have fun with it. You really like.
We've got a girl on. We do the same.
Yeah.
We've got a girl on the sales team. Yeah, Bronco, don't touch the mic. we've got a woman on the sales team, and she takes great pride in having the biggest dick.
Wait,
All the other guys are like, what the fuck, like, you know?
Yeah. It's so important to have some kind of leaderboard like this, just because then they're going to naturally want to be top of that leaderboard, and obviously incentivize that with a bonus of some way, shape, or form. We do $500. Ideally, we should pay more, but that's what we're paying for the time being. You can get creative, like give them an iPhone 1 month if you want to. Like, yeah, for the top setter. So yeah, that's the leaderboard and bonus. Any other questions on incentives and bonus?
Yes. Let's say Kian only books 28 calls. Does he get the price?
No. So the set target's very important at the top. Like you have to set a minimum standard, so 30 booked appointments. Highest setter over those 30 booked appointments gets the bonus, right?
Okay.
And we'll change it each month. So sometimes we'll do just sets booked. Some months we'll do deals. Sometimes we'll do cash collected. At the moment, we're doing cash collected. So that's what we're incentivizing for.
And would you recommend putting the pictures there as well?
Yeah, because like we post this into the channels for setters every single day.
Every day?
So every single day, Kian gets to see that he's the big dick setter, and everyone else is underneath it. And like, for example, if someone, I remember this month very clearly because Sam was top for the first two weeks of the month, right? The minute Kian overtook, I sent a screenshot of the leaderboard to Sam and said, mate, are you going to do it? Are you going to accept this? Like, look, he's putting you to shame. And immediately Sam was like trying to get back up. So you want to create like a competition, like make them almost kind of hate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Are these guys working full-time setting?
No. No. These guys are like part-time. And again, this is very much just R&D. Like these numbers are not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm not happy with those numbers at all. But it's because it's R&D purposes. Like we're testing new things with them. But still, from someone 70 booked calls, 7 deals.
Realize that we are testing. We're testing a bunch of shit that
We don't know if it works or not. So like triaging in the conversation, for example.
Yeah.
If we didn't do that, then our numbers would be way better. But I know that like Selway ran it for a bit. It worked, but we didn't give it enough volume. So we gave it to the setters and we didn't test it for long enough before we gave it to them.
Yeah.
So the setters are essentially running a test for us at the moment, but it works well enough for them to make enough money to not panic. So
Yeah. Like every single call that they book has been triaged in the DMs. We ask them what their revenue is, what their problems are. We expand on that a little bit more to find out exactly where they're at. And only then do they go onto a call. So I'd say 50% of the calls are just triaged out of this system.
So how much did the Kian make that one thing?
That month,
big dick, Kian.
I think he made around 2.8, maybe 2.5, 2.8. Yeah. When we ran the setting system before, like the setters were earning like 4 or 5K a month, and the ad setters are doing consistently 5K a month. These are like my little minions. They just test things, and all of them they're university students. So this is this side. I'd never hire someone full-time deal on this system. All good? Cool. KPIs. I can't remember exactly what that one was referring to. Who asked about KPIs? Yeah. The main thing with KPIs, like every individual system in the course and that you run will have like output KPIs. But if we're talking purely about managing setters, you manage the inputs, right? Because you've built a system that works. Setters, you just place them onto there to just follow the SOPs and just tap away at that system. So the only thing that you need to manage if the system works is inputs. How many dials they're doing per day? How many outreaches they're doing per day? Are the follow-ups on time? Are they being consistent with everything? And if they're doing that, the system should work.
Yeah, so it's like you got to run that yourself for a bit first.
Yeah.
And like kind of max yourself out.
Yeah.
So you know what's possible.
This is why it's so important that you kind of know how to set yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, because like the system will tell you everything that you need to know about how well the setters are performing.
And then would you, so say, I don't know, say you can do like 100 calls per day. If I'm maxed out, would you offset that a bit for some leeway for people that don't care as much as you?
What do you mean?
So like I'm doing 100 calls a day, let's say.
Okay.
Would you say then like a setter that comes on board, would you say 90 is kind of like the KPI there? You'd offset it or backset it, if that means.
Yeah, ideally, like whatever you were doing, like your full run rate is what the KPI should be for a setter.
Okay.
But like, it's all based on the metric. So if you know you've got a 5% booking rate and you know that 100 dials equals 5 bookings, then that should be the KPI of inputs.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on KPIs? No.
Sorry, I've been out of the room, so I don't know if it's been asked. But if you only did sort of DM setting, do you KPI on number of like pitches, like proper pitches made, like offering a call? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know conversion rate from call actually being booked or link being sent off the back of that?
Are you talking about like a self-set and close? Or self-set to triage call?
And close.
The close rate should be around 20% on set calls. Yeah.
Oh.
Cool. Setters per closer, ideally 2 setters per closer. Is that about right? Yeah.
Depends on the volume.
Yeah.
And the type. Yeah, it depends on the volume you got, the type of setters they are. Few people recommend 2 setters per closer. I've always historically done 1 setter per closer. There's no hard or fast rule to it as long as you've got the volume and the system's working, you know.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Who asked about LinkedIn?
Mate.
What did you want to know?
At the moment, I have got an appointment setter just in my LinkedIn account acting as me.
Okay.
It's no ads running, nothing like that.
Okay.
We've got a very high close rate. It's like between 60 to 80%.
Okay.
But that's because there's a lot of content, a lot of DMs, a lot of comments go out to the right target market. But I know you guys operate slightly differently in terms of, I mean, I get messages from Imperium people all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I have fun with them sometimes, but we'll save that for after.
Yeah.
How do you go about setting that up, and why aren't you specifically just doing it through Charlie's page if you're not?
So, run me through the process quickly. Is this setter closing deals as well?
No, just
setting appointments.
Setting calls,
Okay.
DMs only, no phone calls.
Okay. So they just need traffic
Yeah.
more than anything, right? And that comes in the forms of likes, comments, and engagements on your profile.
Yeah.
So ideally, just posting content is going to be the best way to start, right? Everyone who likes your content, they get a DM pitch, open them to your services.
Yeah.
Every engagement that you get on that profile, that's the best way to start off inbound. Lead magnets work extremely well. We did that on Charlie's profile for months. We'd give away like a free resource, like a free PDF, like a free metric tracking sheet or something along those lines, driving people to the DMs with a keyword. So for example, like DM me pitch and I'll send it through. And then we'd have just a setter just constantly giving them the resource. Hey, while you're here, got a quick question. Are you interested in this? Yes or no? The main thing is just opportunity.
So I'm doing all that already, but I'm more kind of interested about the bringing in extra profiles.
Okay. So that's going to be outbound, right?
Yeah.
And it's just going to be a case of, how many sets have you got? Just one?
How many what says?
Yeah.
Yeah, one.
So step one, he will just create 2 accounts and he will just reach out to cold prospects within your niche, pitching them the exact way that you do it inbound.
Okay.
Okay.
And that'd just be under his name?
Under his name, yes.
All
Each
legit.
setter will operate under their own accounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you do you sometimes have multiple accounts set up, even if you might have one person manage 2 accounts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do that. So all of our sales reps, we have like setters managing their accounts, and they'll just send voice notes as opposed to video messages and just pretend to be that person.
Okay.
Yeah. The best thing when you're just getting started with setters is just have one setter just manage 2 accounts. The minute they're up to volume, then you get more accounts as and when you need them.
Yeah, cool. But they're not going to be posting content, so it's completely cold out.
They'll be completely cold outbound, but they will repost your content on their profiles. And their profiles will be like partner at your company name.
Yeah.
So they're almost like an
you guys do.
extension of your profile.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So he could manage mine and his.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Cheers, man.
Is it important to create a page on LinkedIn for the company?
It's not that important. Like we have one, but we never use it. It's there if people want to find out more, but it's not an imperative to book appointments.
Okay, thank you.
You know, when you said the whole lead magnet thing, people DM and you give them the resource. Do you give the resource first, then have the full conversation, or do you sort of start the conversation first?
Yeah. So the first things first, you actually send them the resource.
Okay.
They DM you the keyword, you send them the resource. The minute you send that resource, it's a selfie video straight after that, like, hey, here's the resource. While I've got you here, are you interested in pain point? And then you can set them on the back of that.
Do you gate that resource with an email address?
No.
So it's completely open?
No, just completely open. Like if we were doing opt-ins, we would. But if it's purely cold DM appointment booking, you just give them the resource in PDF format. Any other questions on LinkedIn?
Automation.
We use Ulink. You heard of Ulink before? We use that to automate connection requests. That's all we use for automation.
The program.
Yeah.
Do you know what module?
DM sorcery.
And
Could
it's,
you use
how do you spell Ulink?
ULINC.
LINC.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I think that in order to get an account, you'd have to go through the program because they don't advertise it because LinkedIn doesn't.
Oh, is this
like
that
it.
dodgy one?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's kind of we've got like a backdoor, so yeah.
Okay, nice one.
It works really well.
When you hire a setter and you want to automate their lead sourcing, do you have them to first warm up the account, or do you just send through the leads through?
So account warm up. First week, you just don't use the account. You just keep it completely just blank, do nothing with it. The second week, you just start sending connections at a very low volume, like 5 per day, until you're up to the limit of 40 per day.
Okay. It's 40 per day?
Yeah. 40 connection requests per day.
And then you link or not?
What was that?
And then once it's warm, you can use Ulink.
Yeah.
Like not before.
Yeah. No, you can use Ulink from the second week. You just have to you just have to take it slowly. Because if you go straight to full volume, it's just going to get banned straight away.
Okay.
And if you have LinkedIn Sales Nav as well, that can increase the number of connection requests you can send.
Yeah. Okay. Marginally. The main thing that affects it is SSI score, I've realized from testing it.
Really? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because my accounts, like the ones that have below a 60 out of 100 SSI score, they just get restricted, banned, and they get stuck at like 40.
Do you want to maybe explain what that is?
So the SSI score is a social selling index, which is LinkedIn's way of judging how well you connect with your audience, engage with your audience, and like converse with people in your market and build like a connection list relevant to you.
With so I use Ulink from the group, and it works like unbelievably well. It's how we set our appointments at the minute. But I know a lot of people say like a big thing on LinkedIn, kind of similar to Twitter, is commenting on like other people's profiles. Do you like actually go all in with that, or is it mainly just connection requests, posting content, and getting them in the DMs?
Yeah, we don't do any commenting.
I'd love to hear that because I don't either.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a LinkedIn comment before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like
They're
them.
not even. They're just weird, man. They're not real. It's like
yeah.
Yeah, they're really AI now. And
LinkedIn's
I've never
like
bothered
most-
doing them, but I know generally people will say to do them.
We've never seen the use of doing it. Personally.
I don't think I know anyone that actually uses LinkedIn for anything other than to either sell or recruit.
Yeah.
Sweet.
There's one guy, if you want to check him out, who's a massive advocate for LinkedIn commenting, and he's called Jasmine Alec.
Okay.
It's like, and he talks good about it, but it's so fucking time consuming. It's
yeah. It's just quicker to just send connection requests.
Yeah.
Honestly, because you're going to type stuff out and then no one's going to look at it, and then it's not worth it.
Well, regarding like getting like LinkedIn accounts, would you say like getting family members accounts that are not using it and changing it to some setter's name and things, does that like work by any chance?
You can never change the name of a LinkedIn account, unfortunately. It's a bit of a pain in the ass getting LinkedIn accounts right now. First things first, you have one identity and you can create 2 profiles under that identity. So first name, first name, middle name. From there, friends and family, team members, ask them if you can use their account if they've got a spare one. After that, renting accounts is the only real viable way forward.
And did you guys find a good service for that? I remember you mentioned someone mentioned something like on the calls, but
I wouldn't say a good service, but we found a service. we use this company called Accountify, and the owner is a bit of a he's a bit rude. He's not very good, but his service is good, right? The LinkedIn accounts we get, they work. I've heard horror stories about it, so I wouldn't necessarily advise it, but the accounts work. The other thing, mirror profiles.
Sorry?
We've used mirror profiles for LinkedIn accounts before.
No.
Spelt like...
Why is he so rude, Will?
Josh, why don't you explain?
Mirror profile.
Yeah, that's probably the best. It's quite expensive, but that's the best for scaling LinkedIn. Because you rent accounts from real people, and if they do get banned, you can get new ones straight away.
And then you get your setters to just do like voice notes and like text again?
Yeah, text-based and voice notes. Yeah. Yeah.
No version like video.
No. No. Well, you just have, do it text-based is the best way to do it. Because like, if you get 10 accounts, the reply rate's going to be lower from doing it text-based, but because you've got the extra volume, it accounts for it quite simply.
And if a setter operates on your profile, do they show them or do they just in voice notes?
So if you've got a following and it's reasonable that you would have an assistant, the setter can reach out as an assistant. So we had a setter on Charlie's account who'd reach out as Charlie's assistant, and that absolutely crushed it. But that wouldn't work if you didn't have any kind of brand.
So controlling.
Yeah. Okay.
So last one, mate. Mirror profiles, is that the prick or is that someone else?
No, they're fine. They're good.
They're fine, right.
They're good. I'm not going to recommend the other one because some people have told me of bad experiences, and I've seen a bad experience, and my experience with them wasn't too good. So
What was the experience that was so bad?
just slow and rude, and like they will blame you for things sometimes. Like Josh
He was like cussing me up, man.
Yeah.
Cussing you up. Jeez.
Yeah.
Very rude
So
to
I was
Josh.
using one of the accounts on the weekend. He's like, "This goes against our terms, you piece of shit." Like,
Yeah.
That's like the
Yeah.
light version of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's two sides to every story, John.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
What were you sending?
I was sending your message, man.
Yeah. Cool. In terms of automation for setters, you should avoid this at all costs unless you've got a setter who's performing very, very well. And the first thing you automate is the stuff that is very low leverage, like follow-ups, right? So if a setter has a pipeline of 30, 40 people and they can keep up with the follow-ups, and you can automate that maybe with a virtual assistant. But ideally, you want to avoid automations at all costs, really.
How come?
Because you want a setter to be in control of their whole process. The minute you start taking away control over the system, they subconsciously just stop using it with full intent. Yeah? Because you're hiring like a real person. Like they can grow, they can learn, and they've got energy they can put into a system every single day. And you want to capitalize on that because they're going to be working full time on that system, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So inbound Instagram. Who had the question on inbound Instagram?
The main question I had was whether the Trojan horse is the most effective way for IG inbound, because that's what it is in the program. Or would you also recommend potentially testing the OG setting method of actually figuring out what their problem is through text?
That will obviously work, but it's not massively scalable, right? Because every single person is going to require a different set of messaging, right? And you can do that on a low scale, but then training a setup on that, they've got to learn how to think, talk, converse. It's harder. The best thing you can do is keep everything streamlined. So they're doing the exact same thing every single time, right? We find if you are going to do the Trojan approach for Instagram, just acknowledge the fact that they've either liked, commented, or engaged with your profile in any way. Maybe mention what they opted in for, and then keep everything else the exact same. Okay?
Let's keep it going. How many more have we got?
Got loads.
What
Starting ads, we've covered that.
Yeah. What else have we got?
Recruiting, firing, and training. So training setters is pretty straightforward. It's SOPs, it's the system, right? If they've got an SOP to follow, that's all they need to do for the first 2 weeks. Where is it? Yeah, so that's the ramp up there. For the first 2 weeks, you just do a daily one-on-one with the setter. You look at everything they're sending on that account. You review all their calls they're doing. And you just review every set. It's just quality checking absolutely everything, right? For the first 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, the management structure is 1 times one-to-one every single week, a team meet every single week, and then if you've got a head setter, just a weekly meet with the head setter. Yeah. Hiring setters, I say this all the time, but you don't need to be talented to be an appointment setter. You just need to be consistent, right? Because if you've built this system and you understand appointment booking yourself and you know this system can book appointments, all that setter needs to do is just do the inputs. So you don't need to hire anyone who knows how to set appointments. You don't need to hire anyone who thinks they're good at setting appointments. You need to hire someone who's consistent in their personal life, charismatic, young, and can just literally just do the inputs every single day. That's the only metric you need to follow.
What % of the people you hire actually turn out?
We have quite a good hit rate. I'd say maybe 80% of the hires that we make are good fits.
Okay. Like the last 6 people I've hired have all either sucked or left in the first week.
So that's all down to the recruiting process, man. From my experience, if you hire someone who's has a track record of consistency in their personal life, and you can get that, and for a fact, the only reason Charlie hired me is because I've been to the gym for 8 years straight.
Oh, I mean, among other reasons.
Yeah, but that was the main thing, because I had a track record of consistency. I wouldn't
That was the main one.
Yeah.
Josh, have you got an actual system that works?
I have one setter. He's
Yeah,
booking
but do you know how to do it?
Yeah.
And what's the KPI? What's the appointment booking rate?
He's booking 100 meetings a month.
So you've got a guy that's doing it?
Yeah.
Well, then you just need to get, just hire loads more people.
I know. I'm tiring of I hired 6, 7, 8 now. It's they all.
Well, that's like a guy that has 7 X's.
Yeah, I know. Maybe
Usually
obviously
him.
there's something that I'm doing wrong, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's not normal.
Ask him if he's got any friends.
He doesn't.
Okay.
I
That's
tried
probably
that.
why he's booking.
Where
Oh,
did you
maybe he
hire him?
doesn't.
He sat right next to me.
Where did
Where's
you
the hat gone,
find
by
him?
the way?
Huh?
You haven't got the matching hats today.
No. He has better hair than me. I need to cover this up.
Yeah. Where did you find that setter?
He was actually in Easy Grow. So we
Right,
met
get
through
out.
there.
Fucking pirate the course.
He already paid you. It's okay. Don't
I always hire setters who have at least started running an agency in some way, shape, or form. I like to hire people who've got some kind of experience online, and maybe they've ran an agency, but it hasn't really worked. Because that way they have an understanding of the market and they have a desire to want to change their life.
Okay. So just DM clients of Easy Grow.
No, you don't. The thing is, Josh, is you don't really want to hire civilians. You want to hire people that are trying to start their first business and make money online.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
What's next? Firing is easy. You just fucking fire them.
You fire them if they miss inputs, they're not doing the work every single day, or they're not consistent with the inputs, right? They're the only two things. Because if the system works and it operates, the only thing that can make the system fail is from them not operating it properly, right? So if they're low on the outreaches per day or they're not consistent with the follow-ups, you get rid of them immediately.
How quickly do you make that decision?
I do 3 warnings, truthfully.
How many?
3 warnings. So I check their metrics every single day. If I notice they're below, I ask them why, and if it's not a sufficient enough reason, that's 1 strike. Then after 3, I would let them go. Because it infests the whole team and it runs like a plague. And if you let them get away with it once, it will just snowball. You know?
You get what you tolerate.
Yeah.
In terms of approaching that for the first warning, do you do that in a kind of like a soft tonality?
You just say, hey man, I saw you didn't do this. I need you to fix this, and I don't want to have to tell you again. And then the second time you say, if I have to tell you to do this again, then I'm going to have to let you go. And then the third time is goodbye. Yeah. What's next?
Cool. Good setter case study. We literally just covered this. Agency owners, 0 to 2K a month mark. They understand the online space, but they haven't really taken that leap yet. They want to change their life. And if you can create a system that can facilitate them actually reaching their goals, incentivize them for it, they'll absolutely crush.
I just have one question just about the training side of things. When there is the objection, I'm already in another program, what do you answer typically?
What, they're already setting on another offer?
No. If a prospect says he's already in another program, what do you answer? Do you just go next?
You just ask him how well it's going.
Hmm?
You ask him how well it's going.
Okay.
That's what I would do. Because he wouldn't be speaking to you if he didn't think that he could solve your problem, his problem, right?
Yep.
So just finding out what that problem is.
Makes sense. Thank you.
What about incentives, bonuses for head setters?
Well, this is we're changing our philosophy on this, like from having a head setter and a setter manager to just having a setter manager, because it doesn't make sense from like a sales team perspective to have like a head rep. You might have like a sales rep that is the best and that you give mastermind calls and stuff, but you don't really have like a head setter. But in terms of like the setter manager incentive, you'd basically pay them a percentage of all the money that the setters make. So that could be whatever you and they think is fair. 20%, 15%, depends on the volume. So if you're paying out to your setters 50 grand a month, for example, which would be quite significant, the setter manager could get like 15K or something.
Yeah.
It just has to be directly tied to the outcome of what the setters make.
Cool. Yeah.
Because then their entire job is about helping the setters make more money, which makes you more money, which means they make more money, which means everybody makes more money. So
yeah. So for the communications between the closer and the setter, we use a set calls channel, which is this here. This is just a screenshot of a set call that took place. It's pretty much a Slack channel, like on your back end, where you have closers and setters in the same place. Every time you book an appointment, you post that, the setter will post that, and tag the closer. So then the closer knows exactly what they need to know about the set call, and then in the reply underneath that, they'll post any proof of the setting, any more information. They'll maybe record a voice note and just help the closer out. And the closer will use that for framing the discovery call, pretty much. Okay. That's really all you need between setters and closers. Sometimes, like if you have ad setters, you can get them on the sales team meetings. But we use this channel and it works well, so we kept doing it. Cool. When to add systems? Who wanted to know about that?
Oh, this is kind of more of an R&D question.
Yeah.
So right now we're like good at LinkedIn. Mainly is like the thing we're the best at. But obviously, like we have clients that are not in a niche that LinkedIn works in.
Yeah.
So I guess like how do you balance like focusing on one thing versus just like where do you draw the line in terms of like, because you could develop every system for every kind of person, right?
Is this purely for the product?
Yeah.
It can get very dangerous if you're just relying on one system.
Yeah.
So
what's like a good?
Well, you got to look at the traffic and like the platforms that your niche would use. So for example, you work with agency owners. It's cold email, cold call, cold SMS, and cold DM. So ideally, you need a system that facilitates every single one. Yeah. Because it's just the safest way to run it. If you, for example, if you're just relying on LinkedIn DM and suddenly that breaks, your whole business is going to be very fragile.
And is that kind of the same philosophy when it comes to your own outbound as well? Because like we have an email going as well, and that's working too.
Yeah.
So should we be doing more than that to like diversify and protect against risk, or?
If you've got a system that's working well, your priority should be scaling that system before adding more complexity in the form of a second system.
Okay.
Right. It's always better to put volume into what's working rather than.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a different situation than for the products versus yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Management and accountability. This is literally just tracking their metrics, right? So every single setter, they're going to have a metric tracking sheet, and the accountability will come 100% from just checking every single day. And if they're not doing the inputs, asking them why. Okay. We also have daily reports. Noor, can you scroll down a tiny bit? This is great for accountability every single day as well. So at the end of every single day, a setter will put this into the same channel, the amount of outreaches they've done, sets they've booked, closes, no-shows, cancels, reschedules. Then on my call notes in the set calls channel, is my tracking sheet up to date? Yes and yes, just to make sure they've done it. And then they do the month to date, how much cash they've collected, no-shows, stuff like that. That's really, really important for accountability. If you've just got them doing that, that's all you really need to do, honestly. And if they don't do that, you come down on them and ask why they haven't done that, right?
Okay, 5-minute break, and then we'll come back to it for the 45. Yeah, so cool.
When you've got sets closed up there, how do they know how many? Sorry, that was really rude. Sorry. I just have one last question. Between me and you, Will, everyone else can go.
Yeah.
The set's closed. How do they know that? Because it's a set. Is it not the setters? Sorry, is it not the closers that close them?
Yeah.
So they just look up and see who's.
So they're in all the channels. The setters are in the closing channel. They're in the new client detail channel.
And how do the dates work on that? So do they look at for that day, or is it do they backtrack it for?
The top is for the day.
Yeah.
The bottom is for the month to date. So just edit it as they go along. If they get
Okay, so for example, if I booked an appointment 5 days ago for today and it closed, I would put 1 on today's. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Question of the EO listing. Do you also have like an investor deal as well?
A what? Sorry.
Part of it.
No. No. Yeah. 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 That's just that's accountability. Just make sure they're actually doing the work.
Right. Stop break.